Computer networking. Introduction. Imagine that your teacher has given you a group project of making a presentation in PowerPoint. She has also distributed as to who will do which part of the presentation. Now, can you think as to how you will combine all the parts and make the final presentation? One option with you is that you call all your friends at one place and their part of presentation kept on some storage device and combine them together in your computer. Another option may be that if the computers are on some network, your friends can send their part of presentation sitting at their homes and you, after combining all parts, can further share with them the final presentation. So, if the computers are connected to each other, there will be a lot of advantages, including sharing of data. Similar to the situation given above, we come across many such networks in our daily life, like mobile networks, cable TV networks, broadcasting networks like radio and television, network of roads, railways and canals, network of banks, including ATMs, network of schools, cinema halls, malls, hospitals, etc., telephone networks. Can you imagine your life without above networks which you use every day? Similarly, a computer network that connects numerous computers together has become part of our daily life. If this information revolution, can you think of a day without internet, social media, etc.? This all is possible because of the cyberspace, which is created by connecting millions and millions of computers. Let us learn about computer networks and its concepts in detail. Computer network and its components. Computer and other devices connected together as a group for the purpose of sharing software and hardware resources, including data, are called computer networks. This interconnection can be created through a wire or wireless. These resources, as already discussed, can be data files, application software, hardware devices like printer, modem, high-capacity hard disk, etc. For example, if one computer on the network has a high-capacity hard disk, then the other computers on the same network can store data and other software or programs on this. They need not procure such high-capacity hard disk individually for all their computers. A typical network is shown in the adjacent figure. In a computer network, each computer can work as a standalone PC or as a part of a network. When a computer is connected to the network, it is called a node. On a network, one of these nodes becomes a sender of information to the other nodes, which will act as receivers. A typical network communication system will have a sender, a receiver, a message, and a communication channel, as shown in the following figure. Advantages of computer network. There are several advantages of computer networking as compared to standalone computer, as given below. Sharing of hardware. Large printers and storage devices are very expensive, and by using these peripherals on a computer network, shares such resources and reduces the operational and maintenance cost of the organization. Sharing of software. All the required software can be installed on the centrally placed system. All the connected users can access it when required. It saves cost of licensing on each machine and modification. Maintenance, updation and deletion is done only at a single point. Fast and efficient communication. Network offers a fast and reliable communication channel among the users. People can communicate efficiently via messages, chat rooms, video conferencing, video calls, etc., which brings more efficiency and effectiveness into the overall working of the system. Security. As the server of the organization is fully secured against unauthorized access, the relevant data and files are fully protected and only accessible to authorized users. Unauthorized users will be denied access. Reducing redundancy. Since people share the same data over a network by storing it centrally, it reduces the redundancy, duplication of data on many computers. Soft copy of the data can be shared amongst users, and this will reduce the cost of taking a hard copy of the data and then sharing. Saving time and cost. Sharing of data and information through network saves both time as well as cost of paper as explained above. Network components. Computer network needs some components to establish as given under. Server. Server is the most important computer on network. Server is a powerful computer possessing with high speed and processing capability. It can link and connect many electronic devices together and provide important network services to its users. Client. Client or a node is a computer or device which is connected to a network to access services from the server. Network Interface Card (NIC). NIC is a hardware component which connects a computer to a network. It also provides a unique physical address known as MAC, Media Access Control Address, to each computer which is connected to the network. There are two types of NICs. Wired NIC uses wires to get connected to the network. Wireless NIC uses radio frequency for the connection. Medium of connection. As from the above discussion, it is clear that connections can be of two types. Wired. Connection is established with wires, ports and connectors. Wireless. Connection is established by using Wi-Fi, radio waves, microwaves, Bluetooth, infrared, etc. without using any type of wire. Types of wired connection. A network can be established with the help of the following types of wires. Coaxial cable. Coaxial cable or coax is a type of copper cable specially built with a metal shield and other components engineered to block signal interference. It is primarily used by cable TV companies to connect their satellite antenna facilities. It is also sometimes used by telephone companies to connect central offices to telephone poles near customers. However, initially the computer networks were also established by using this cable. This cable is very rigid and offers high bandwidth with greater transmission speed but has a high installation and maintenance cost. Coaxial cable can be used for two purposes. Baseband transmission. It transmits single signal quickly at a time for short distances. Broadband transmission. It transmits multiple signals at the same time and is used for long distances. Ethernet twisted pair. An Ethernet cable is most common and widely used wire in a network. Ethernet cables connect devices such as PCs, routers and switches within a network. These physical cables are limited by its length and durability. An Ethernet cable has 8 wires of different colors and both the ends are connected to the cable connectors called RJ45. Ethernet cable is plugged into Ethernet ports. An Ethernet port is on NIC. This port is usually on the back of a desktop computer or on the side of a laptop. Ethernet cables have a maximum distance capacity as to how long it can be stretched before there is a signal loss called attenuation. While putting the connector on the ends of the Ethernet cable, we can prepare a straight cable. Will connect one computer to a router or switch. Crossover cable connects two computers to each other without a switch or hub in between. Ethernet cable has improved and is now available up to a gigabit per second speed. Optical fiber. An optical fiber cable is a type of cable that has a number of optical fibers bundled together, which are normally covered in their individual protective plastic covers. Optical cables are used to transfer digital data signals in the form of light up to distances of hundreds of miles with a larger capacity to transfer data at a very high speed. Optical fiber has replaced all other wired media because of its high speed, bandwidth, and highly resistant to signal interference. With all the advantages, it also has some limitations if being very fragile, and the maintenance cost is also very high. Wireless networking technology. Infrared signals. Infrared, or commonly called IR, is a wireless mobile technology used for device communication over short distances. Same technology which we use in remote controls. In IR, light-emitting diodes (LEDs) are used to transmit IR signals which pass through a lens and focus into a beam of IR data. The beam source is rapidly switched on and off for data encoding. IR communication has major limitations because it requires line of sight, has a short transmission range, and is unable to penetrate walls. IR transceivers are quite cheap and serve as short-range communication solutions. Bluetooth. Bluetooth technology is a short-range wireless communications technology to replace the cables connecting electronic devices, allowing a person to have a phone conversation via a headset, use a wireless mouse, and synchronize information from a mobile phone to a PC, all using Bluetooth system. Depending upon the Bluetooth version you are using, the transmission can be up to 240 meters. All devices which are Bluetooth enabled will have the Bluetooth sign or logo. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi or wireless fidelity is a technology that uses radio waves to provide network connectivity. A connection is established using a wireless adapter in the vicinity of a wireless router that are connected to the network and allow users to access network. The major advantage of Wi-Fi is that it is compatible with almost every operating system, game device, and advanced printers. Like mobile phones, a Wi-Fi network makes use of radio waves to transmit information across a network. The computer should include a wireless adapter that will translate data sent into a radio signal. This same signal will be transmitted via an antenna to a decoder known as the router. Once decoded, the data will be sent to the internet through a wired Ethernet connection. The advantages of using Wi-Fi are as under. Has the capability to replace wired communication completely as Wi-Fi is compatible with almost every device. Through Wi-Fi, you can get connected to multiple devices. Much cheaper technology as compared to wired network as running of cables is not required. Can also be installed at places where wired communication cannot reach. Disadvantages are the signals over Wi-Fi cannot travel long distances. The speed of data transmission is slower than wired physical media. It requires additional power resource for the Wi-Fi router. Other networking devices or components. Modem, modulator, demodulator. To connect to a network like internet, we also use public networks like telephone networks. Modem is used to connect computers via telephone lines. It modulates the digital data into a telephone-compatible analog signals at sender's side and demodulates the analog signal back into digital signal at receiver's side. Switch or hub. When a network has more than two computers, then we need a central point of connection through which all the computers are connected on a network. In wired networking, this function is performed by switch or hub. Repeater. When the signals are transmitted on a wire like coaxial or Ethernet for a long distance, they tend to lose and distort signals. Repeaters are signal boosters which clean, filter, and retransmit so that new boosted signals can travel long distances with same strength. Bridge. Bridge is a networking device which is used to connect two similar networks like two LANs. The bridge connects the two subnets and manages the traffic flow between them. Router. It is a networking device which is used to connect similar networks but may have different protocols. Rules governing networks like two LANs or a LAN and a WAN. Routers are very important in controlling the traffic and keeping the network efficient. Gateway. Gateway is a device which connects dissimilar networks. A network gateway joins two networks so the devices on one network can communicate with the devices on another network. A gateway can be implemented completely in software, hardware, or a combination of both. Gateways are also called network protocol converters. Often, the two networks that a gateway joins use different base protocols. The gateway facilitates compatibility between the two protocols. RJ45 connectors. RJ, register jack 32, is a 8-pin connector which is used to connect Ethernet cable to a switch or to a NIC. BNC connector. The BNC, Bayonet Neil Conselman connector, is a miniature quick connect or disconnect connector used for coaxial cable. Link. Link is the channel or line that connects two devices. These links are used to transmit information between two or more devices in the network. Types of network. A computer network can be inside a room, a building, across cities, countries, or even continents. Depending upon the area covered, geographical boundaries, networks can be classified into following categories. Personal Area Network (PAN). PAN generally covers a range within 10 meters, about 30 feet, organized around an individual person. It can be created via cables, Bluetooth, or infrared rays. When you connect your laptop, printer, mobile phone, or iPod in your home for sharing music and photo files, you are creating a PAN. Personal area networks created by using Bluetooth are also sometimes called piconets. Local Area Network (LAN). LAN is used when two or more computers are connected within a small area like a room, building, house, or a campus. LAN is a low-cost, high-speed and secured network. LAN can cover an area within 10 kilometers. LAN can be wired or wireless. Computers connected in your school lab, in an organization, networks spread over a building are examples of LANs. LANs are owned and controlled by individuals or organizations. Campus Area Network (CAN). Campus Area Network is a bigger form of LAN, like LAN of an organization spread over various buildings in the same premises. The area covered is more than the LAN, but within a campus and owned by one organization or individual. Metropolitan Area Network (MAN). MAN is a computer network in a geographic area larger than LAN, generally spread in a city. The maximum range of MAN can be up to 50 kilometers. It is usually formed by interconnecting a number of LANs and individual computers. The most common example is a cable television network, branches of same school in a city, etc. Also, offices of a company spread in an entire city is connected together with MAN. Wide Area Network (WAN). A WAN spans over a large geographical area, often a country or a continent. It requires a public telecommunication media such as telephone system, optic fiber cables, or a satellite. Internet is an example of WAN, which is the largest WAN in the world. Another example of WAN is a multinational company having offices in almost all countries. Network topology. Pattern or way of arranging computers and other peripheral devices to form a network is known as network topology. Bus topology, linear topology. In this topology, each node is attached directly to a central cable, which is the common communication medium for all the attached nodes. Ring topology. In ring topology, the devices are connected to each other in a circular shape, forming a loop. Each node is connected to only two other nodes, one on each side of the node. Star topology. In star topology, each node is connected to a central node directly by a single path. Network architecture. Network architecture refers to how computers are organized and how the tasks are allocated between these computers. There are two types of architecture which are widely used. Client-server architecture. In this architecture, computers connected to the network are called clients. The clients send the request and the requests are processed by the server. Peer-to-peer architecture. This architecture doesn't have a server. Each computer on the network has equal status, capabilities, and responsibilities. They can communicate with all others and have a role in managing the whole network. Network terminology. Internet. The Internet, sometimes called simply Net, is a worldwide system of computer networks, a network of networks. The Internet is a global wide area network that connects computer systems across the world. It includes several high bandwidth data lines. In order to connect to the Internet, you must have access to an Internet Service Provider (ISP), which acts as the middleman between you and the Internet. Intranet. Intranet is defined as private network of computers within an organization with its own server firewall. It is also a system in which multiple PCs are networked to be connected to each other. PCs in intranet are not available to the world outside of the intranet. For example, the LAN created in your computer lab makes an intranet. You all can use the information stored in these computers, but same information cannot be accessed by an outside person. Bandwidth. Bandwidth describes the maximum data transfer rate of a network or internet connection. It measures how much data can be sent over a specific connection in a given amount of time. It is measured in BPS, bits per second, kbps, kilobytes per second, or mbps, megabytes per second. For example, a gigabit Ethernet connection has a bandwidth of 1000 Mbps, 125 megabytes per second. Internet Service Provider (ISP). ISP is an organization which provides internet connection to users and charges a fee. Some of the organization which provides internet connection are BSNL, Airtel, Jio, etc. Web page and website. Website is a collection of web pages uploaded on the internet. It generally belongs to an organization, government, or an individual. A web page not only contains text and images but also embed graphics, videos, and other digital media. These pages are hosted on www, World Wide Web. Web pages are designed in HTML, hypertext markup language, and can be accessed through web browser. URL, Universal Resource Locator. URL is the address of the website, like www.google.com. To open a website, type the web address or URL in the address bar of the browser. Web portal. A web portal is a specially designed website that often serves as the single point of access for information. It can also be considered a library of personalized and categorized content. A web portal helps in search navigation, personalization, notification, and information integration, and often provides features like task management, collaboration and business intelligence, and application integration. A web portal is a specially designed website that brings information from diverse sources like emails, online forums, and search engines together in a uniform way. Homepage. When you open a website, the page which opens as first page is called homepage. This page contains important information about the organization and important links to go to other pages of the website. Hyperlink. Hyperlink is a technique to join two or more web pages together as to one section to another section on the same web page. Hyperlink can be text, audio, video, image, etc. When you move over a hyperlink. It changes to hand icon. Hypertext. Hypertext is text displayed on a web page which opens another page. Hypertext documents are interconnected by hyperlinks which are typically activated by a mouse click. Hypermedia. If the hyperlink is created by using image, video, audio, etc. other than text, it is called hypermedia. IP address, Internet Protocol Address. An IP address, or simply an IP, is a unique address that identifies a device on the internet or a local network. It allows a system to be recognized by other systems connected via the Internet Protocol. An IP address binds the World Wide Web together. An IP address is written in dotted decimal notation, which is 4 sets of numbers separated by period, each set representing 8-bit number ranging from 0 to 255. An example of IP address is 216.3.128.12. Domain Naming System (DNS). As you know that each resource on the network are assigned IP address. Now to access any device, IP address will be required. It is difficult to remember all IP address, so a naming system is designed called DNS so that it is easy to recall the resource. For example, 8.8.8.8 is for www.google.com. So it is easy to remember google.com than 8.8.8.8. Domain name generally has www followed by dot, then the name of the organization followed by dot, and web extension like edu, gov, com, etc. Protocols. Protocols are the set of standard rules and regulations which govern the network. Network protocols are sets of established rules that dictate how to format, transmit, and receive data, so computer network devices can communicate regardless of the differences in their underlying infrastructures, designs, or standards. To successfully send and receive information, devices on both sides of a communication exchange must accept and follow protocol conventions. Support for network protocols can be built into software, hardware, or both. TCP or IP, Transmission Control Protocol or Internet Protocol. TCP or IP is a set of networking protocols that allows two or more computers to communicate on the Internet. TCP or IP can also be used as a communications protocol in a private network, intranet. TCP or IP specifies how data is exchanged over the Internet by providing end-to-end communications that identify how it should be broken into packets, addressed, transmitted, routed, and received at the destination. TCP or IP is designed to make networks reliable with the ability to recover automatically from the failure of any device on the network. The two main protocols of TCP and IP are TCP, which defines how applications can create channels of communication across a network. It also manages how a message is assembled into smaller packets before they are transmitted over the Internet and reassembled in the right order at the destination address. IP, which defines how to address and route each packet to make sure it reaches the right destination. Each gateway computer on the network checks this IP address to determine where to forward the message. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTP is the set of rules for transferring files such as text, graphic images, sound, video, and other multimedia files on the World Wide Web. As soon as we open a web browser, the user is indirectly making use of HTTP. As the hypertext part of the name implies, HTTP concepts include the idea that files can contain references to other files whose selection will elicit additional transfer requests. When the user enters file requests in the browser by either opening a web file, typing in a URL, or clicking on a hypertext link, the browser builds an HTTP request and sends it to the Internet Protocol address, IP address, indicated by the URL, and the requested file or files associated with the request is sent back by the requested server. HTTP versus HTTPS. HTTP secure, encrypts or encodes, and decrypts or decodes user HTTP page requests as well as the pages that are returned by the web server. The use of HTTPS protects against eavesdropping, snooping, and man-in-the-middle (MITM) attacks. HTTPS was developed by Netscape. FTP, File Transfer Protocol. File Transfer Protocol (FTP) is a standard Internet protocol for transmitting files between computers on the Internet over TCP or IP connections. FTP is a client-server protocol where a client will ask for a file, or a local or remote server will provide it. The end user's machine is typically called the local host machine, which is connected via the Internet to the remote host, which is the second machine running the FTP software. Generally, to download a file, user needs to have login ID and password to access FTP server. Anonymous FTP is a type of FTP that allows users to access files and other data without needing an ID or password. Some websites will allow anonymous FTP to visitors to use a guest ID or password. Users can work with FTP via a simple command line interface. For example, from a console or terminal window with command prompt in Microsoft Windows, Apple OS X or Linux, or with the dedicated graphical user interface GUI. Web browsers can also serve as FTP clients to download new applications. Using FTP, a client can upload, download, delete, rename, move and copy files on a server. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. SMTP is one of the most common and popular protocols for email communication over the Internet. It provides intermediary network services between the remote email provider and the local user accessing it. SMTP is generally integrated within an email client application and is composed of 4 key components. Local user or client end utility known as the Mail User Agent (MUA), server known as Mail Submission Agent (MSA), a computer program or software agent that receives electronic mail messages from MUA and cooperates with the MTA for delivery of the mail. Mail Transfer Agent (MTA) is a software that transfers electronic mail messages from one computer to another using SMTP. Mail Delivery Agent (MDA) is a software component that is responsible for the delivery of email messages to a local recipient's mailbox. It is also called a Local Delivery Agent (LDA). Searching and Local Delivery Services. IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, and POP, Post Office Protocol. IMAP and POP are two popular protocols to retrieve and access emails. IMAP is more popular protocol as it allows you to access your email wherever you are from many devices like a desktop, phone, laptop, and tablet. When you read an email message using IMAP, you are not actually downloading or storing it on your computer. Instead, you are reading it from the email service. As a result, you can check your email from different devices anywhere in the world. IMAP only downloads a message when you click on it, and attachments are not automatically downloaded. This way, you are able to check your messages a lot more quickly than POP. POP works by contacting your email service and downloading all of your new messages from it. Once they are downloaded onto your PC, they are deleted from the email service. This means that after the email is downloaded, it can be accessed using the computer on which they were downloaded. If you try to access your email from a different device, the messages that have been previously downloaded would not be available to you as they have been deleted from the mail server.